Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 273 of the J Situation Podcast. I'm recording this on August 26th, 2025. How are all you wonderful folks doing today? Yeah, I hope you're doing well. A really neat treat for you today, actually. We're going to go back a little bit into silencer history, but not too far back. Just back to 5 years ago, back around the time that PEW Science was founded. And we're going to be publishing a white paper with two tests today. It's the Microtech Defense R2K9 pistol silencer. Yeah, it's going to be on the HK P30L, and it is going to be published in both the long and short configurations. Yeah, it's a pretty neat K-baffle design, actually. It won a government contract of some kind. Folks who have shot it know it's pretty slick. It has one of the wildest retail packages we've ever seen. And frankly, we thought it belonged in the standard. So we used internal funding to make it happen. It's been a long time coming. And I've been joking with some people. I mentioned it once that we had done it, and there was one consumer online he's like, "Where is it? Where is it?" I'm like, we'll get to it, and we finally are. So I'm excited to bring it to you. So today we're gonna dive into a short intro about the paper, and conduct the technical discussion next episode. Okay, one moment. Okay, also on this episode, I have a quick update for you regarding my personal 300 Blackout MCX saga. Not really a saga, more of just pure joy, really. I love that thing. Now I'm going to get a little weird, though, and I'm about to start modding the handguard. We're going to talk about that, okay? Oh, and one more thing before we do ads and stuff. A quick shout out to a PEW Science Pro member. His name is Gabe. He reported that this past Friday, he hit a personal best on deadlift at his church. I guess his church has a gym, or maybe he's referring to the Iron Church, which that's pretty based. Anyway, he said he was appendix carrying a Glock 19X with an Aimpoint Acro P2 and a Surefire X300 light there, and he hit 405 pounds on his deadlift at a body weight of 183. And he is 6 feet 3 inches tall for reference. He tells me that he gives credit to Legion Athletics. And if you don't skip the ad reads on these podcasts, you will know that Legion Athletics is a podcast sponsor. So I just want to say a couple things. One, good job, Gabe. Get strong, get swole. That's awesome. 405-pound deadlift at a body weight of 183. It's a good milestone. It's a good start. And I think you'll be deadlifting 500 before you know it. I think at 183 pounds, I'm assuming it's a conventional pull. You'll be hitting 500, and then you're going to get up into the high fives. It was some good training. You might even hit 6. So keep at it. 6'3", you might fill into that frame, go up a weight class. 2, yes, Legion products are awesome. Legion Athletics products. But this wasn't due to Legion. This is due to Gabe's hard work. That's right. So kudos, sir. We at PEW Science wish you well on your strength and conditioning journey. And of course, as always, in your suppressed small arm endeavors. Okay, so I told you I'd shout you out, my friend. I'm excited. I'm so excited for you. Man, hitting that 4-plate deadlift. Ooh, baby. How good does it feel when you squat 4 plates, you bench 3 plates, and you pull 4 plates? Just those milestones that you get. Isn't that fun? And then you get going higher and higher, and you're just like, oh, you're so strong. Let's get on with the show. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I'm glad to have you. There are timestamps in the episode description, of course. Skip wherever you would like. It's no problem. If you want to hang around a little bit longer, I'm going to tell you about the companies that make this podcast possible. Like, for example, Legion Athletics. We already talked about them. What did Gabe use? Our PEW Science Pro member lifter there. What did he use from Legion? I don't know. I'm assuming he's been supplementing with some creatine, which is something everyone should use. Even old people, young people, babies should use it. I don't know, maybe not babies. Whey protein, that's cool. They have vitamins, minerals, all kinds of stuff. Use code word PEW Science, save money. Okay, you get buy one, get one off your entire shopping cart. You get 20% cash back going forward with it. Just do it. Podcast is brought to you by Silencer Shop, largest distributor of silencers in the known universe. They've done a lot for the industry. Whether or not you buy from them or not, that's not really the point here. for me. I'm highlighting Silencer Shop because of the contribution to the industry they've made and the contribution to the PEW Science effort they've made. The fact that the largest distributor of silencers in the world supports the PEW Science laboratory should let you know that at least there's some good there. You know what I mean? Go use our kiosk. No transfer fees, no paperwork errors, just you and your silencer with no drama. Truly is silencer ownership simplified. Podcast is brought to you by Top Gun Range Houston. In a practical sense, if you are in the Houston area, even if you're just visiting, please go check them out. Kyle and his crew are they're gun people, they're silencer people, and they'll let you rent silencers and guns to fire at their 15-lane indoor shooting range. Crack open a beer sitting on their couch. I don't know if they have beer there, but just bring one and bring a 6-pack to Kyle. Tell him Jay sent you, and you can find him on Instagram at Top Gun Range and TopGunRange.com. The podcast is brought to you by Capital Armory. They are a very large dealer in Texas that has created a unique twist for their business, and that they will ship silencers directly to your door when you order it from them. That's pretty cool, especially for people that are very busy, that work multiple jobs like me, or maybe you work nights and you can never make it to the gun store. If you live in one of the 42 states where silencers are legal, order a silencer from your living room and have it shipped directly to that same living room, Capital Armory. Silencer shipped directly to your door. And finally, this podcast is brought to you by PEW Science Laboratory. Somehow keep doing this over 5 years running. I'm the technical director of this lab, and as well as another lab. In the interest of public education, we continue to do this podcast every week, mostly, and run a public research effort for all of you, like the Microtech silencer you'll see today. That is directly funded by you guys listening. We try to push the silencer industry forward one test at a time. We feel we've characterized a lot of silencers that otherwise would not be characterized, to really, really see how things are advancing, or for that matter, how they're not advancing, how they maybe need to advance. Visit PewScience.com for the suppression rating, the most simplest and accurate hearing safe rating for your suppressed small arms based on true human inner ear response of the entire gunshot from before the combustion takes place all the way until all the combustion is gone. All the mechanical operation of the weapon system has ceased, and everything gets quiet again. PEW Science is the home of the silencer sound standard, 7 sections. For now, there's going to be another section coming, I promise. The most in-depth and accurate silencer data analysis in the world, and you can support what we do if you would be so kind. Join with a membership at PewScience.com. Maybe donate a one-time donation on the review page or podcast page, or you know what? If you don't want to spend any money, that's cool. We don't need your money necessarily. We just want your support and for you to spread the word. So if you can't contribute monetarily, just let folks know that silencers and guns are awesome by, like and subscribe, or wherever iTunes, YouTube, wherever. Give 5-star, just rate it good. Tell people it's cool, because it is. 2 topics again. First, we're going to hit the Microtech Defense R2K9 intro, long and short configs, and then topic 2, I'll talk more about the gun I'm sick for right now, the SIG MCX. That some people hate SIG, but I don't know. My first gun was a SIG, my P226, so I like them. At least I like those pistols in this MCX. Topic 1. Oh man, hold on. Crap. Come on, be professional. Topic 1 at a time of 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Okay, very good. Topic 1. Sound Signature Review 6198. Oh my gosh, 198. Microtech Defense R2K9 on the HK P30L. It's modular. Got 2 tests. It's been about 5 years or so, give or take, since the silencer hit the market. It's about as old as PEW Science. Was the Microtech R2K9 ahead of its time? Or was it simply a diamond in the rough that maybe you glossed over? I think you should check out this interesting report. It has a fully featured accessory package. We'll talk about that. This is member-funded research. This intro talk. And I wanted to tell you that too much 5.56 data analysis is bad for you. It will rot your brain. No, but seriously, it's been mid-June since we were looking at subsonic stuff. So now we're going to come back to that. Okay, now what are we at? End of August? It's like, that's enough. We spent a lot of the summer looking at 5.56, and that's okay. You need to suppress 5.56 because it's super dangerous. The blast loads are super dangerous. No, it's not because it's supersonic. It's because it has a lot of blast energy. I'm going to slap that idea out of your head if I say it 100 times. So 5.56 is super dangerous, so suppressing is important. That's why we focus a lot on 5.56. Plus, everyone loves the AR-15. But 9mm pistol is important. Now, and to be clear, all suppressed systems are wonderful. Anytime you can reduce the severity of blast loads with the silencer, you're doing better than 99% of gun owners, and that's really great. You should be happy. Now, subsonic 9mm pistol, boy oh boy, this is for discrete elimination of your objective. Okay, that is the politically correct, delicate way of saying it's for popping dudes sitting on the couch if you need to. Yeah, that's what a 9mm pistol silencer is. You guys saw the high-profile case in New York, downtown there. The guy used it, frankly, for what it's supposed to be used for. Frankly, I'm not saying he should have done what he did. I'm saying he used the right tool for the job. Don't pretend that's not true. Okay? I'm going to tell you like it is. Like I have, what is this, 272? Yeah. 272 episodes. I'm going to shoot you straight. You know, sometimes it's good to be able to be able to use the right tool for the job when you need to, and you need to know how these systems perform. You know, guns are weapons. They're not toys. They're meant to kill. That's why we use them, right? Yeah, so we've known about this silencer for a long time. As I was saying, it was around when PEW Science started, and meaning that this effort was, I was just running a larger lab and that does different stuff. And this PEW Science thing was a little side project that had just started out behind the scenes. And when I was doing some independent study of some of this combustion stuff in this small regime combustion, these small arms, these tiny combustion stuff that we do here at PEW Science, I was watching this Microtech thing. And, Microtech made some big claims. And honestly, a lot of them were pretty good. They did send their silencer to some third-party evaluators, some labs. They won a military contract with the silencer. I don't know the disposition of all that right now, but I always thought it was a cool silencer. And a client had it in their inventory a long time ago, and they sent it to us to test, which I thought was cool. And just like as a thing of like, oh, here's this, and if you ever get around to it, type of thing. I was, cool. Sometimes that happens, and we kind of, if we get around to it, we'll spend resources on it and do it. And this is one of those curiosity things, and we finally got around to it in a recent program. It wasn't that recent, but we did get around to it. And when I was looking through the results and doing the analysis and kind of looking at what it made it tick, and looked inside the silencer, and I thought it was definitely interesting from a technical perspective to publish in the standard. And I think from a historical perspective, even if it's recent history, I think it's important to publish in the standard. So we're doing it, and it's 2 tests, and so it's actually a pretty lengthy member-funded study, which is cool. I love when we can make good use of member funds, and I think this is, of all the candidates for member funding, this is very high on the list. Just a lot of it's an important report, I think, for the state of practice. And so let me tell you a little bit about the silencer. Keeping in mind, we will do the full technical deep dive next episode, so don't get too upset if we don't go super technical, but I am going to give you detail about the silencer itself. And so Microtech, it's a company that a lot of you know because they make knives. Now, I don't personally own any Microtech knives, but I have seen them on social media, and I Googled them, and now I know that they make knives. I thought they did, but I wasn't 100% sure, honestly. I like knives. I'm not a knife guy, more of a gun guy. Just kind of how it is, So some knife guys are gun guys, or some gun guys are knife guys, but I'm really just a gun guy and a silencer guy when it comes to this stuff. So there's another part of Microtech called Microtech Defense. It seems that they make this silencer, and maybe they make some special defense knives. I don't know, but I think they pretty much just make this silencer that I've seen. And that's all the research I did regarding that. Spent 20 seconds on it, so that's what I know about Microtech. The important part for today's talk is the silencer. This is a traditionally machined silencer. It is made out of titanium, and it's, from my opinion and observation and holding it and looking at it and shooting it and taking it apart and putting it back together, it seems really well made. It's nice. It's what, it's like sometimes when you get a silencer, you're like, wow, this is nice. That's the feeling I get with the silencer. This is nice, dude. It's a nice piece of kit. The machining is excellent. It's light. Now, it's a modular 9mm pistol silencer. It's, kind of like the Rugged Obsidian series, or maybe the AAC Tyrant series, or I'm sorry, the Tyrant 9M series, or maybe the new modular 3D printed stuff like the Dead Air Mojave 9, or maybe the Cat SC is a recent one. So it's modular like all these, and it's kind of wild how many modular 9mm pistol silencers there are on the market. The Microtech, it's the R2K9. It's like those modular ones, but it's relatively unique in several ways, and you might not catch it if you don't pay attention. And the first thing that sets it apart from the group is that the two modules are really not sized like they are typically with these modular pistol silencers. As a full unit, the thing is really long. It's actually around 8.6 inches long, super long. But in the short configuration, it's 6.4 inches long. And see, that's more than that short configuration is more than an inch longer than the short Obsidian 9. It's half an inch longer than the short Mojave 9, and it's about an inch longer than the short Cat SC. So this is pretty interesting, right? And why? Well, because it's something I've mentioned to you several times over the past few weeks and months on this show, the dimension of time. Remember, all silencers are subject to time limitations. The time waits for no man or woman, and it waits for no silencer. If you can trap that muzzle blast for a longer period of time after uncorking by lengthening your system, you can do more work. So the Microtech gives you an option that is really where a lot of people like pistol silencers to sit lengthwise. It's almost like that could be considered the primary configuration, with the long configuration being almost like a little bonus. That's kind of how I view this silencer somewhat. Now, is it a perfect technology? Well, no, absolutely not. Is it truer than in some other cases we've seen in the market? I think so. So what about the inside, though? Because that's really neat. When you're in luck, it is user serviceable. Yeah. Harken back to the days when not as many silencers were 3D printed. In 2020, there were certainly some 3D printed silencers, right? It's CGS, Daniel Defense, Delta P, all that good stuff. Some others too. Microtech was machining, and the baffles in this thing are actually K baffles. A lot of you will remember the super optimized K baffles from a very famous silencer, the AAC Tyrant 9, the original. The Tyrant 9, just to give you an idea, if you're new to silencers, the Tyrant 9 from AAC was one of the greatest 9mm pistol silencers of all time. The optimization in the R2K9 K baffles, this Microtech baffle, it's different than the Tyrant. And they actually use a lot of geometry on the reflected face of each baffle. They also alternate the baffle throat vents. You can call them, it depends how old you are. You can call them weep holes or ports. Depending on how old you are in silencer history, you probably call them something different. There's some other names too. They alternate those 180 degrees each baffle, and the baffles only go together one way. And we're going to talk about this in the technical discussion, and it's described technically in the report. But that's something I found interesting. Another thing regarding the baffle stack is that there are two short baffles, and the rest are the same size. Also, there's something a little bit different that you don't usually see in silencers like this, or in any silencers like this, is there are baffle retainers that put everything in compression, independent of the end cap. And that's the important thing, independent of the end cap. And this is cool because you can switch the end cap from long configuration to short configuration without fear of losing your stack out of your tube. And everything is just really solid. And you could even fire the two configurations without the end cap to save a little more weight and length if you wanted, because the retainer plates capture the baffle stack. You might lose a little performance probably because that last expansion volume, right? But it can be done, and in fact, that's actually when you think about that, like I'm gonna use a word I hate to use. When you think about that tactically, the reason I'm using the word tactically is because it literally means like as related to tactics. Let's say you had like your pistol outfitted with your long configuration of the silencer. Picture this. You have it installed on the gun. And you really quick, you want to make it short. All you have to do is take off the front part, the front module, and then shoot. You don't have to reinstall the end cap on the. You understand, because of the baffle retainers. I'm just giving you a picture. I'm painting a picture for you. Okay, cool, right? Another thing that's cool is the piston design. And it is somewhat different than what you're used to seeing. It is definitely not a generic Silencer Co. rugged Huxworks thing that they all do. It's different. And it comes with two of them. It comes with a 13.5 by 1 millimeter left hand, or as we like to call it at PEW Science, God's pistol threading. We're 13.5 left hand metric enthusiasts here at PEW Science, just so you understand that. And it also comes with the common half 28 right hand. You can also buy the Microtech pistons in 3 more thread pitches, which should be stated. And why would you want to do that for a 9mm pistol silencer? Why would you? Well, because what if you want to put this silencer on a subgun? And you might need 5/8 24, you might need a half 32, you might need half 36. You know, MP5, you know what these are for. 9mm, some 9mm ARs, some 300 blackout, you know, subsonic guns, some MP5 variants. You know, that all these thread pitches are relevant. And so they have all of those for you. Now, of course, if you do use this on a fixed barrel weapon or a subgun, you will need a fixed barrel spacer. And you're in luck because this Microtech silencer also comes with a fixed barrel spacer that's ported. Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to tell you. Not only does the retail package of this silencer come with the 2 pistons and the fixed barrel spacer, it also comes with disassembly tools, and it even comes with spare O-rings. And you put it all, it has this double hard foam layer hard case to hold all your stuff. And it even, the freaking owner's manual, the operator and maintenance manual is laminated and spiral bound like a spiral notebook, dude. This is from, I'm telling you, this is kind of from a time when silencers had more joy built in. It's kind of like when you would get home from the music store, you pop the tape or the CD in your stereo, and you sit down in your bed and you look at the lyrics and the liner notes of the album. You know, this is, I guess, after the records. Sorry. I'm more of a tape and CD guy. I'm not that old. I'm old enough, but, you know, I didn't go to the record store, buy records. That's now you do that now because people think it's cool, but like, yeah, anyway. You know what I'm saying? Silencer packages were more warm and inclusive. And that's only 5 years ago, you know. In Microtech, it looks like they put a lot of effort there. And I thought that's kind of cool. As a silencer guy, I thought it was cool. Now that's, you know, it's not the same thing nowadays with most silencers. It just kind of reminded me of those old days. Now, counterpoint though, devil's advocate, which I'm sure there's people screaming about. Storing a bunch of silencer cases at a dealer is really hard. And so dealers and distributors really hate those big cases. I get it, dude. This is just like, I'm just telling you, for consumers, I think it's probably cool. At least it was to me. That's just my opinion on that. I thought it was cool. Anyway, I'm excited for you guys to see the performance in the report. Now, is it a world beater? Well, dude, of course it's not. It's not even a hybrid design. And you've already seen the Dead Air Mojave. You've already seen the Cat SC. So good luck beating those silencers holistically without advanced tech. Like, you're not going to. We're in a different land now. We're 5 years later. Now, for the time, like for circa 2020, bro, I would probably rock a Microtech. Like, honestly, I kind of wish we tested it back when we first started PEW Science, so I could have told everyone about it. Like, seriously, like, it's just been sitting in inventory. I'm sorry. Like, I totally would have. We're busy, and I didn't think about it. I don't know. There's so many things to do. I knew I wanted to do it, but I was like waiting for the right time, I'm sorry. I bet a lot more people would have one if we would have talked about it earlier, but it is what it is. Now, they come in different colors too. I think that's cool. Anyway, I guess winning a military contract might have been a clue. Maybe I messed up. Maybe I should have done it earlier, whatever. I think if it were me, I would be shooting the heck out of this if I had one, like as a consumer. I was actually curious. It made me curious if it was discontinued or not. So I actually searched, and I don't want to say where because I don't want to be accused of like trying to get people to buy stuff or selling anything. But I did find some places selling it for really cheap, probably because there's low demand. I don't know if they're really in stock. They say it is. I don't know. You know how it goes when you search for something, you see something in stock on a website, and then you call them and they don't have it. I don't know. I don't know about that. But I do know for a fact that it is not discontinued. They are still making them because I reached out to Capital Armory and they have it on their website. And so I put a link in the report. Every report we put a link where you can buy, for people who's reading it to know. So we put the Capital Armory link in there because I want you to know that it does exist. It is real. It is still sold. Because at first I was scared that we had missed the boat and it was not sold anymore. I was going to be like, oh no. But yeah, it looks like we're not too late after all. 9mm pistol silencers are pretty much my jam. If you haven't listened to this podcast before, like it's a personal thing I love. I love suppressing 9mm combat handguns, probably because my first firearm was a SIG P226 many years ago, and it is the first firearm I ever suppressed. So I get excited about this stuff. I hope this inspires some of you to go down a rabbit hole of different types of silencers. I think that, again, subsonic suppression is important, and I think that combat handgun suppression is incredibly important. Many people's love of silencers started because of suppressing 9mm pistols, and I think it is an important part of silencer history, and I think it will continue to be like that as long as silencers proliferate. I don't think it's going away. So please go check out the report. It will be live around 0700 Central Time on Wednesday morning, so that should be easy for you to get. If you're not subscribed to our newsletter on the website, make sure you do that. So we always send out a newsletter before, right as we publish, and then we'll make social media posts so you can read. Okay. Next topic, and we'll go technical deep dive next week. Okay. Topic 2 at a time of 20 minutes and 6 seconds. Okay, good. So we only spent 20 minutes on that, which is what I targeted. Good. Okay, so we'll do topic 2. 20 minutes, 6 seconds. The SIG MCX. Oh, that's right. LVAW and its variants. I got to shoot again. I've been really hammering the system with subs and supers. I have some ideas for heat mitigation I wanted to run by you. Just to continue the discussion from last week and a little more target. I was just kind of riffing like stream of consciousness last week. I wanted to give you more targeted discussion on this so that if I haven't had a chance to sit down and do what I'm going to tell you about, but maybe if you hear me say it, you can say, don't do that, or yes, do that and this, or I have done that and this is what I experienced. I would love your feedback, so please reach out. So I put several hundred more rounds through it this past weekend. I also bought, and just so you know, 6.75 inch 300 blackout. Okay, that's what we're talking about. I also bought a 9-inch barrel from SIG. They told me it was back ordered, so I'm waiting on that. In exploring the heat soak through the suppressor compliant handguard that I'm using, that 10-inch handguard that I bought, which is really expensive, by the way. Trust me, that's kind of why I'm like doing this and telling you about it. So like if you bought one, you can get the most out of it. That's my idea. So after exploring heat soak through that handguard, I spoke with Burnproof Gear. They're a vendor that makes covers. There's tons of those companies. And after having discussions with all kinds of consumers about this and end users, even some guys from SIG, about the heat issues of tucking silencers on the gun, I had an idea that came to more maturity. So I went on Amazon and I bought some bits and pieces of materials that I think would do well, like in a prototype fashion, to create a workable heat mitigation system, like for this particular handguard. In the case of using a titanium silencer that has high emissivity. Okay, because that's what I'm experimenting with right now. So what I'm talking about is radiant heat. So as you know, silencers heat up as you shoot them, yes? And that means that they are doing their job, which is very good. What are they doing? Well, they're containing explosions. They're containing the combustion byproducts from an explosion, and energy transfer is happening, and that is a good thing. Now that heat is actually moving into your barrel metal. How? Well, that's through conduction. The silencer is fastened to the end of your barrel. Even if there's a muzzle device there, everything is getting hot through conduction. And eventually, if you shoot enough, your firearm will experience heat soak from that. But something that happens when you tuck a silencer under a handguard, even partially, is radiant heat transfer into the handguard. And that is the challenge we've added here, right? We've added a challenge to our game. And so if you want to look cool, you have to figure out how to actually be cool and not burn yourself. So we spoke about this last time, right? So my working idea is reflective heat tape with a very high degree of reflectivity. There are gold tapes out there, for example. I think lining the inside of the handguard forward of the gas valve would be prudent on this one, as that is where the silencer is tucked. So you would, in effect, reflect the radiant heat right back toward the silencer. And the reflectivity is not 100% efficient, of course. So that would be crazy. If it was, that would be awesome. We should get some of that material, but we don't have that. So it's not 100% efficient. So you're still going to heat the aluminum underneath the tape of your handguard. And also you're going to be heating that handguard through conduction from the barrel, just like we spoke about earlier. But that part's slower. So remember, what's our primary objective here? I'm going to talk about the dimension of time again, but a little bit in a different way. We're just buying time. We're buying time during heat transfer, right? So because over a long enough time duration, everything is going to get too hot if you keep shooting, no matter what. We just want to buy time. So you get your gold tape, you make an internal liner, right? You reflect it back toward the silencer, shiny side up, okay, shiny side up, or shiny side around. Like, so it's like, I want to wrap the whole thing inside. Now, how do you prevent the remaining radiant heat from adding heat soak, though? Because you're not 100% efficient. Well, I figure you wrap the handguard in basalt fabric or fiberglass. I picked a basalt material from Amazon. So that's 2 items I've told you about so far that I've bought. Now, how do you keep it all in place? Now, I'm still working on that part. It's like a work in progress, right? This is like, I bought a bunch of stuff and I'm just kind of sitting there. I haven't had time to go to the workbench and try it. So I bought some other stuff. I bought some other reflective heat tape. I got to figure out which way to orient it, but I was honestly thinking hockey tape over the basalt fabric because it's cheap and easy, and it's easy to wrap around stuff like the front sight location, because you have to go up and over. And here's the thing. So here's what I didn't want to do. What I didn't want to do was just buy some kind of heat wrap and be like, yeah, I'm just going to put this on my handguard. But it's like, what are you doing? Well, you're not controlling handguard heat. You're insulating your hand from handguard heat. Well, that's not what I want to do. I want to reduce handguard heat and then insulate my hand from the leftover heat that is in the handguard. Like, I think if you don't use a heat shield or reflective material to slow I think if you, let me say that a different way, in a more generic way. I think if you don't slow the heat transfer rate into your handguard, you're not being all you can be. You're not being G.I. Joe on this problem. Okay. I think we got to be smarter about what we're doing here, guys. I don't. Now, is this going to be a durable solution? Like, if let's say I do all this and I drop my weapon in a puddle or a lake and I get it out, or is all my crap going to fall off? I don't know, dude, but we can figure that part out. That's for later. Okay, this is just like, we're messing with this. We're trying to see what's going on. Okay, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is cool. Like, this is half the crap we get into this stuff. Like, we want to experiment. We want to figure it out. We want to be ninjas and shoot cool guns. So that's my working theory. Very cheap parts. I don't know. I probably spent $100. I don't know how much it is, but I bought a bunch of crap from Amazon one night. I was sitting there scrolling in my app and like, I'll buy that. Add to cart. Holy crap. Prime shipping gets it to me the next day. Oh my God. Tomorrow morning by 7 a.m.? This is ridiculous. It's crazy. So I was like, oh yeah. So I have a pile of crap. This is just an informal experiment. I really don't have time right now to instrument it all with thermocouples to prove a point. However, I was telling a guy on social media, one of my buddies, when I have time to build this and do it right, and if it ends up working real well, maybe I'll do an instrumented test and show you some data, because that would be really cool. Like literally, right? Literally cool. It would be cool if I could show you some traces. Okay, I think I just wanted to give you this quick update now, because all in all, I know people have been asking me, because you rarely see me talk about anything personally I use, because I can't tell you about the silencers I personally use because people get upset, but I sure can talk about guns. No one gets mad at me about that yet. So I just want to tell you, I'm still loving this gun. I need to figure out a good way to use my Voodoo S on it though, because I think that would make this the coolest gun ever. I love it so far. Why? I love shooting supers and subs out of the same gun. It has been so fun. And I don't know that I know I'm late to the game. I'm late to the party. Hell, I just saw PSA release something called the Mixtape Volume 1, which I believe is their like Honey Badger clone, and they're about to they're going to release the Mixtape Volume 2, which is their 338 ARC. And so I obviously understand that people have been doing subs and supers and 300 blackout guns that are awesome for a long time. I understand that. It's not new. But to me, having a purposefully engineered AR-18 derivative that is super reliable, and to my knowledge, this is just to my knowledge, the most reliable one in military service worldwide, and having access to that and having that gun and having fun with it on the weekends and shooting it, has just been so fun. I just do not get to shoot it for fun a lot anymore. And so it's just been a dang joy. It doesn't malfunction and I love it. So I wanted to share that. And if that helps you know that the gun might be good, cool. If you don't care, also cool. You don't have to listen to the podcast. Okay? So that's all I have for you today. I hope you found the episode informative. I know it's fast, but anyway, I got a lot to do. We will be back next time with the Microtech R2K9 technical talk, which I think is going to be really fun. I'm telling you, I have this thing in my look, it is long in the long configuration, but remember, it doesn't have to be. You take that front part off and you have kind of, in my opinion, how long a pistol silencer should be. I love it's not knurling, but it's like machined. Dude, we can talk about this more next time, but just as I'm holding this, I'm going to tell you, if Microtech made a hybrid, I would go buy it right now. Because I think it's that well made. It's so cool looking too. Anyway, this one's silver. I kind of want the black one. Stay safe. Go shoot. Spend some time with your loved ones. Go look at the data. Okay, go look at the data in the morning. And I will talk with you folks again soon. All right, bye.